Just wanting to eat more salad doesn't actually mean you will. Simply saying you'll read more books doesn't mean you'll pick up a useful book instead of binging Netflix. This best-selling book tells you that you don't need to rebuild your behavior or reinvent yourself. Rather, you can make tiny changes which, repeated over time, will become habits that can lead to big results. Let's explore how. 1. Small habits can have a surprisingly powerful impact on your life. The analogy of the airplane's flight path is a powerful reminder of how small changes can lead to significant outcomes over time. Just like the pilot's slight deviation resulted in a completely different destination, our daily habits, even the seemingly insignificant ones, shape the course of our lives. It's easy to overlook the impact of small habits because the results are not immediately apparent. But just as consistent poor choices can lead to negative outcomes, consistent positive habits can lead to remarkable improvements in our lives. When it feels like progress is slow or non-existent, it's important to remember that change takes time. Focusing on the trajectory of our actions rather than the immediate results can help us stay motivated and committed to our goals. Developing habits is key to setting ourselves on the right trajectory. In the next discussion, we'll explore how habits are formed and how we can cultivate positive ones to steer our lives in the direction we desire. 2. Habits are automated behaviors that we've learned from experience. Thorndike's cat experiment sheds light on the formation of habits, revealing that behaviors with satisfying consequences tend to be repeated until they become automatic. This insight has been foundational in understanding how habits work. Modern research has further dissected habits into 4 key elements: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue triggers the habit, prompting a craving for a change in state. This leads to a response, the action itself, followed by the reward, which reinforces the behavior. For example, consider the habit of drinking coffee every morning. Waking up serves as the cue, signaling a craving for alertness. The response is making a cup of coffee, and the reward is the feeling of wakefulness it provides. Understanding these elements can empower us to develop good habits that positively impact our lives. By identifying cues, creating cravings for desirable outcomes, establishing clear responses, and recognizing the rewards associated with these actions, we can cultivate habits that lead to long-term benefits. In the next discussion, we'll delve deeper into strategies for developing and maintaining positive habits to achieve our goals and improve our overall well-being. 3. Building new habits requires hard-to-miss cues and a plan of action. Understanding the components of habits, cue, craving, response, and reward empowers us to intentionally shape our behaviors. By strategically modifying our environment and employing implementation intentions, we can make it easier to cultivate positive habits. Consider the example of learning to play the guitar. By placing the guitar in a prominent location in your living space, you create a visible cue to practice. Additionally, using implementation intentions, such as scheduling specific practice sessions in advance, provides a clear plan of action. This combination of environmental cues and implementation intentions streamlines the habit-forming process, making it more likely for you to follow through on your intentions. The effectiveness of these strategies is supported by real-world experiments, such as the one conducted by Dr. and Thorndike. By redesigning the hospital cafeteria to prominently feature bottled water and minimize the visibility of soda, Dr. Thorndike and her team successfully nudged individuals towards healthier beverage choices. This demonstrates the power of environmental cues in shaping behavior and fostering positive habits. Incorporating these insights into our daily lives can help us overcome barriers to habit formation and make lasting improvements to our well-being. With intentional adjustments to our surroundings and clear plans for action, we can pave the way for positive change and achieve our goals more effectively. 4. Humans are motivated by the anticipation of reward, so making habits attractive will help you stick to them. Understanding the role of dopamine in motivating behavior sheds light on how we can leverage anticipation and pleasure to build positive habits. Dopamine, often associated with feelings of reward and pleasure, plays a crucial role in reinforcing behaviors that are beneficial for our survival. The concept of temptation bundling capitalizes on the dopamine-driven reward system to make habit building more enjoyable and sustainable. By pairing an unappealing task with a pleasurable activity, we can create a positive association that motivates us to follow through on the desired behavior. For example, Ronan Byrne ingeniously connected exercise with Netflix viewing by linking his exercise bike to his laptop, allowing Netflix to run only while he was cycling at a certain speed. This inventive approach transformed the otherwise unenjoyable activity of exercising into a pleasurable one, demonstrating the power of temptation bundling in habit formation. Implementing temptation bundling in our own lives doesn't necessarily require complex engineering feats. Simple strategies, such as allowing yourself to indulge in enjoyable activities only while engaging in less appealing tasks, can be effective. Whether it's reading magazines while at the gym or watching sports after completing sales calls, finding ways to make important tasks more enjoyable can harness the dopamine response to foster positive habits. By integrating temptation bundling into our habit-building efforts, we can tap into the brain's reward system to create sustainable behavior change and achieve our goals with greater ease and enjoyment. 5. If you want to build a new habit, make that habit as easy to adopt as possible. Making habits easy is key to their formation and maintenance. Easy behaviors tend to dominate our lives because they require less effort, while difficult tasks often get pushed aside. By making desired behaviors as effortless as possible, we increase the likelihood of turning them into habits. There are several strategies we can use to make this happen. One effective approach is to reduce friction. Friction refers to the obstacles or barriers that make a behavior more difficult to perform. For example, James Clear's wife keeps a box of greeting cards at home, pre-sorted by occasion, making it easy for her to send cards when needed. By reducing the friction involved in sending cards, she's more likely to do it consistently. Similarly, if you want to reduce TV time, increasing friction by unplugging the TV and removing the batteries from the remote can help discourage mindless viewing. Another strategy is the 2-minute rule, which makes new activities feel more manageable by breaking them down into small, 2-minute tasks. This principle suggests that any behavior can be distilled into a habit that takes only 2 minutes to complete. For instance, rather than committing to reading a book every week, you could start by reading just 2 pages per night. Likewise, if your goal is to run a marathon, you could begin by committing to putting on your running gear every day after work. The idea is to make the initial step so easy that it's hard to say no, increasing the likelihood of follow-through. By reducing friction and applying the 2-minute rule, we can make it easier to adopt new habits and integrate them into our daily routines. These strategies help simplify behaviors, making them more accessible and achievable, ultimately leading to long-term habit formation and success. 6. Making your habits immediately satisfying is essential to effective behavior change. The final rule for behavioral change, as illustrated by Stephen Luby's story, is that habits need to be satisfying to stick. This concept highlights the importance of finding immediate gratification in the behaviors we're trying to adopt, especially in a world where we're wired to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits. Human evolution has shaped our brains to prioritize immediate returns, a trait that served our ancestors well in survival situations. However, in today's world, where many rewards are delayed, this tendency can lead to difficulties in establishing and maintaining positive habits. For example, while smoking may have immediate stress-relieving effects, the long-term health risks are often overlooked in favor of the immediate satisfaction. To overcome this challenge, it's essential to find ways to make desired behaviors immediately rewarding. One strategy is to attach immediate gratification to habits with delayed returns. For instance, the couple mentioned in the book wanted to eat out less, cook more, get healthier, and save money. To make progress toward these goals more satisfying in the short term, they opened a savings account named Trip to Europe and transferred $50 into it every time they avoided eating out. The immediate satisfaction of seeing the savings account grow provided instant gratification and motivation to continue their habits, leading to long-term benefits. By incorporating immediate rewards into our habits, we can make them more satisfying and increase their likelihood of becoming ingrained behaviors. This approach aligns with our natural inclination toward immediate gratification, making it easier to stick to positive habits in the long run. 7. Create a framework to keep your habits on track, using trackers and contracts. To ensure that we stick to our good habits, even when faced with challenges, there are a couple of effective strategies we can employ. One such strategy is habit tracking, a simple yet powerful technique that has been utilized throughout history by successful individuals like Benjamin Franklin. Franklin, for instance, maintained a notebook where he tracked his adherence to 13 personal virtues. Each night, he recorded his progress in each area, allowing him to monitor his habits and stay motivated. Similarly, you can use a calendar or diary to track your habits and mark off each day that you stick with your chosen behaviors. This act of crossing off days can be satisfying and motivating in itself, helping you stay on track toward your goals. Another effective strategy is to create a habit contract, which imposes negative consequences if you fail to adhere to your habits. Entrepreneur Brian Harris successfully used this approach by signing a contract with his wife and personal trainer, committing to reaching a specific weight goal. He identified specific habits that would support his goal, such as tracking food intake and weighing himself regularly, and set penalties for failing to perform these habits. By involving others in the commitment and setting consequences for non-compliance, Harris created accountability and motivation for himself. Humans are social creatures, and the fear of disappointing or losing face in front of others can be a powerful motivator for success. Therefore, setting up a habit contract with a partner, friend, or coworker can significantly increase your chances of sticking to your habits and achieving your goals. Ultimately, sticking to positive habits, no matter how small, is crucial for long-term success and personal growth. By implementing habit tracking and creating accountability through habit contracts, you can increase your chances of maintaining your good intentions and achieving meaningful results in life. Final summary. As a final summary to our book, don't forget that a tiny change in your behavior will not transform your life overnight. But turn that behavior into a habit that you perform every day, and it absolutely can lead to big changes. Changing your life is not about making big breakthroughs or revolutionizing everything you do. Rather, it's about building a positive system of habits that, when combined, deliver remarkable results. One final piece of advice. Use habit stacking to introduce new behaviors. If you want to build a new habit, you could try stacking it on top of an existing habit. Let's say you want to start meditating, but you're struggling to find the time. Try thinking about those things you do effortlessly each day, like drinking coffee in the morning. Then just stack the new habit on top. Commit to meditating each morning when you've finished your coffee, and build on the natural momentum that comes from a habit you already have. Thanks for watching our channel A Book in Minutes. Until seeing you in the next video.